New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
And hello again, dear ones. Rev Brz with you over here.
Rev Z right here.
And we are welcoming a special guest today, Ellen Suazo, currently hanging out in New York City. However, she lives in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and we're going to be talking about the Convention of the Americas in a little while here. But first, we want to say hello. Hello, Ellen. Welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone. So good to be here. It's an opportunity to connect. It's beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much for having me.
Mm-hmm. We're very glad we can have you here. And just before we went live, I mentioned to Ellen that we studied together in some classes a long time ago, and we're not talking about that today. We're talking about what's going on in New Thought today, and what's going on in New Thought perhaps in the future. So first and foremost, Ellen, tell us a little, let everybody know, kind of introduce yourself and let everybody out there know who you are and what's going on, what's important for you right now. We'll talk about your ministry in just a little bit, but let us know more about who you are.
Sure. So again, I'm a practitioner with Center for Spiritual Living, Ellen Suazo, and I hold my license with One Love Center that is in Brooklyn, New York. This day, after the pandemic, we have been doing our services online. So I continue to service in One Love Center, and I have a ministry that is called Más Allá de Tus Límites, Conversaciones para una Vida Más Consciente, meaning beyond your limits, living conscious life. That's when we translate it into English. But it's all about bringing consciousness into the world and making this world a better place for all of us. And I'm also a holistic entrepreneur. I call myself a holistic entrepreneur, and I have a company that is called Mind Shifting International.
Beautiful.
Nice. So what's your this is a passion question. What is your passion around the work that you do on the holistic side and on the consciousness side? What drives you to do what you do?
You know, that's a very good question. I remember before I became a practitioner, I knew I was called to do this work. And I knew that I am here to connect with Latin America, even though that I used to live in the States, in the United States since I was 14 years old, I had in my heart my roots, and my roots are Latino America. And so I wanted to teach and to bring these teachings, this new thought teaching to our community, because what I know is that they're liberating. I was born and raised Catholic, and a lot of the teachings of religion is more based on fear, based on shame. And so I broke free from all that stuff. And what I know is that a lot of us, I'm speaking from my culture, still live like that today. And so I really long to bring this teachings, because this teachings made a difference in my life, has made a difference in my life, and they're still making a difference in my life. And now that I practice, I've been practicing these teachings for over 20 years now. Even way before I knew about the teachings, I was practicing them without knowing that it was new thought, this philosophy. So when I found the philosophy, I just felt this is where I belong. This is speaking my language. And my passion is to help others to wake up, to remember who they really are. That's what it is. Because what I know in my heart is that every person knows it in an unconscious level. But our job is to help them remember. As I continue to remember myself, I help others remember as well. And the more of us remember who we are and whose we are, I believe we can begin to have a world that a lot of us dream of having.
Well, that's interesting the way you say that, because you knew before you knew, right? Because we all know, right, that connection with the divine spirit is already rooted in us, and we sometimes have to be reminded, or rekindle the flame, if you will, so that we can begin to look at, as you say, your ministry is, look at the world consciously, and then it begins to fall into place. And that's, as we look at new thought today, one of the things we like to look at is this idea of what will this teaching and philosophy be like in the future, or what do we need to cultivate to make it more accessible. And I think that what you just said is the key, is to remind everybody, you already know this stuff, you're already doing it, it's just not always conscious.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Yeah, and I also think that you know, a lot of, like you say, a lot of us know it intuitively, because I remember when I was 6 years old, I hear the call, I heard the voice, I was guided. And after that time, my life has never been the same. It's just that I was in teachings or religion which not supported what I would say, so I just kept it to myself. I will not say anything to anyone. And what I know is that it has changed my life and the life of those around me, because of who I have become and allowed myself to become. So it really, I just feel that that's what I'm here to do. And if I could just, one day I said to myself, am I here to change the whole world? No, I'm not here to change the whole world, probably. But if I could just change one person, I have done a good job. And I have 3 kids. I have 3 children and 4 grandchildren. So I say, oh, I'm gonna be fine, even if I could do them.
Yeah, you're already way over your quota of one. If you got, you got seven right there, you're imparting this knowledge and wisdom too.
Well, I love it. I love hearing this because recently I was in a conversation, and and around this topic actually, that we're going to talk about a little bit later, and the Convention of the Americas. And somebody asked me, they said, how do you see the New Thought message being brought forward in Latin American countries, where the tendency is to such the degree the shame is so prevalent, and the heavy Christianity is very prevalent, and many people are still grappling with that sense of kind of, as you said, I don't want to speak up because somebody's going to shame me if I do. So I have to keep this a little more to ourselves, and I'll share how I kind of answered a little bit later. But I want to propose that to you, because you have a much more intimate understanding of how New Thought is showing up in Latin America, and how it deals with that heavy shame based perspective at times. So I'm going to throw the ball to you on that one, Ellen. How do you see New Thought in Latin America?
Um, what I see is a lot of growth, a lot of awareness. People are hungry for this. Hungry people are hungry. People are have been waiting for this. This is an answer to their prayers. That's what I see it. And when I show up, or when we show up as a community, we are their answer to their prayers, because it's not about coming and saying that their religion is not good or is bad. It's not about judging the religion, but it's about opening up to thinking from a different perspective. And that's what I usually do when I am I am on a Uber or a taxi cab or on the bus, wherever I am. I do my best to speak these teachings in a language that people can understand and doesn't feel offended or doesn't feel like they have to defend their religion. So I usually use, I'm grateful that I was born and raised into Catholicism, because Catholicism is one of the religions that is very prevalent in the Latino community. Is one of them. And so what I know a lot of it, and so I can use their language and I can use their teachings, but yet because I know what I know, the metaphysics, I can actually explain it to them in a different way, in a way that is more enlightening, that they can use it on their daily living. And so when I see their faces and how they open their eyes because of an explanation that I give to them, then they're like, wow, I never thought of it like that, but it's true. And so, like a perfect example, I would say, like I say, Jesus said that this and more things you can do. What does that mean? I say, what does that mean? It means he was speaking to us. He wasn't speaking to other Jesus or other people that will come and do greater things like him. No, he was speaking about us. That means that you and me have the power that Jesus had. We can speak into the world, into our experience, what we want to experience. Our words are powerful. And he was saying that this and more we can do. So we're just like Jesus. You and me have the God within us, have the connection. We just have to align ourselves with that divinity within ourselves. And the more we do it, then we can access that power that is living, waiting for us to use it so we can have the life that we're here to live.
Mm.
Yeah, that. I was just gonna say that's key, because we always say there's power in the spoken word. But one thing that I don't know if we always think about, when we speak a word, we begin to also to create an environment that will bring people and circumstances into our lives to continue to expand that thought, to expand that word. So these things I do, you can do these and more. You can do something right now, and as you cultivate that idea, it becomes bigger and bigger, and so now you're doing more things. And there's so many ways of looking at these teachings, whether they're Christian or Jewish or Islamic or Buddhist, by looking at them, as you said, in this metaphysical way, not discounting the literal meaning, but there is something else there that we can get that I think is more juicy, more valuable, and more beneficial oftentimes than just the literal meaning of the word. So I love that.
Yeah. What I find really empowering is, and I'm sitting here kind of struggling on how we describe this, but so far for me, one of the things I've looked at it is I am now attending the Convention of the Americas on a foreseeably regular basis, and I don't speak Spanish. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the next segment. But my point in that is that I don't have that experience over any appreciable time to really embrace or honor what I'm experiencing. I'm trying, I'm getting there, I'm learning. What you're speaking to, though, to me is more than multilingual. It's more than various languages or just the difference between English and Spanish. You're bringing in a multilingual religious aspect to it. I can't speak to it. You can speak to the Latin experience of Christianity because you have lived there and you have been there. I can't possibly ever do it. I don't know the stories that well. I don't know. I could pretend, but it would come off as inauthentic.
And they point it out right away.
Exactly. And we talk about it a lot because Z has that Muslim background that allows him to do the same thing, and with a different cultural audience. I can speak to the neo hippies. You know, that's about my extra spiritual language. But you have that extra piece to be able to really bring this philosophy alive for the people of your culture. I love that. I think it's important.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Folks,
Yeah, and I think that when we speak to people, especially in Latin America, because the culture is the way it is, I'm not here to change you. I'm here to share with you a philosophy, and I want you to practice it. I always say practice this and let me know how it works for you. You know, I have a very dear friend of mine that he's a taxi cab, and he said, you know, I really like to speak to you because you help me see the world in a way that I never thought of it. And it's not like you're using simple language that I can understand, that I can relate to it. And I think that that's what it's about. It's about using simple language, simple life situations that each one of us might or may be experiencing, and to really be empathetic to people and meeting them where they are. That I think that that's very important, to meet them where they are and just give them bites. You know, I'm very strong believer in giving people little bites. And every time I see them, or every time I have a class with them, or every time I have a coaching session with them, to just give them bites and let them practice. I always say you must practice, because unless you don't practice, you will not know what I'm saying is true. I know for me it's true, but you must practice so you can tell me that it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, then we got to see, what is it that it doesn't work? Why is it that it's not working? What is it that you're thinking?
And what can we do to get something working? What will work in that regard?
Exactly.
Right? What will work for you in that regard? You know, all this talk brings up a question that we hadn't planned on, but what's your favorite practice? What is it that, no matter what, you can like tap in and know truth? What anchors you in? What is that favorite practice?
I think that that's one of the reasons why I live in Puerto Vallarta. It's the ocean. As soon as living near the ocean, to me is magic. But when I'm not in the ocean, when I'm not in Puerto Vallarta, let's say that I'm here in New York, I like to be close to the water, and that's an environment, right? I'm speaking about an environment. But let's say that I'm in the apartment, okay, and I'm not close to the water. For me, is love. I think of my little ones, my grandbabies, and when I think of them, I feel so much love, because I am learning from them so much. They're so pure, especially the little ones, the 2, 3, 4 years old ones. And I have those around me. And for me, whether I'm with them or not, I can just feel that love, their love, and I can close my eyes and I can be in my heart and I can just feel the love. And when I feel the love, that is, for me, that is aligning myself with the love of God, with God's love that lives in me. And as I align myself with that, I breathe into that, no matter where I'm at. You know, I could be on a bus, I could be on a train, no matter where I'm at, I can do this. I could just close my eyes and just think of love and see love, because there, to me, they are an examples of love, something physical, right? A lot of times for us humans, we need something that we can touch, that we can see, that we can feel, right? So I think that for us, because we use our five senses so much in this realm, we need that, especially when we begin in this practice. So for me, that will be something that I will say to someone that doesn't know anything about these teachings. I would say, if you want to feel love, just think about, who do you love? Who do you feel that when you are with them, you feel so loved, you feel so surrounded by love, and nothing can go wrong? And usually it's a child, you know, or your partner, whoever that is, a pet. It doesn't matter, because what I know, whether you know it or not, is that God lives in each one of us. And there's not one thing that God is not. And so that's what I would say.
Yeah, I like that, because, you know, oftentimes, you know, when you said your spiritual practice was the ocean, right? Most people would say, well, that's not a spiritual practice, but it is a spiritual practice, because everybody has their way of amplifying and getting in connect with the spirit within. So there's no one patented way to do it. And so myself being a nature kind of person, I love that, because I probably would have said the same thing.
Well, I love that you said,
No.
I love that you slipped a little bit and said, when I'm living in the ocean. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense, when you're living in the ocean. And it made me jump, because, well, number one, I'm a fire sign. So I'm the guy here that's like, yeah, I'll hang out on the beach. You go have fun in the water. I'll be at the beach. Have fun. No worries. Don't worry about me. But I want to agree, right? Our practice is what allows us to feel that warmth, that hug. It is what allows us to know. I often reflect on a quote by Holmes at this point, where anyone may be a revealer of truth that lives in close contact with the indwelling spirit.
Yeah.
And if the ocean is where you feel that closest contact with the indwelling spirit, right on, that's your practice. And nurture that and be a part of that.
Yeah. And that, you know, and I like that you brought that out, because I always say, you know, this is what works for me, but you have to find what works for you. And I just give ideas. It could be doing this. It could be, you know, think of a pet, think of a child, think of the person. Remember, think of a time when you felt so loved, this unconditional love. It could have been from your grandmother, your mother, your father, whoever that is. But it is each person's responsibility to connect to that love, you know, because it's in all of us. We all have experienced it at one point or another, no matter who we are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whee! All right. Hey, folks, look at that. It is just about that time where we take a quick break, let some of our friends and guests and others know a little bit, let you know a little bit more about what we're doing here on New Thought Media Network. This show is New Thought Today. It happens every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Stick with us. Stay tuned. We're going to be back in just 2 short minutes with more right after these messages. Stay with us.
The New Thought Men's community proudly presents New Thought Men's Summit, Foundations, an online conference, September 22nd through 27th. Register today at www.newthoughtmens.community. featuring 22 New Thought speakers, ministers, and visionaries, sharing their wisdom of modern spiritual masculinity. New Thought Men's Community. Empowering wholeness, centered in spiritual living.
You're invited to join us for the Convention of the Americas. Your light is my light. Come experience a bilingual international meeting of New Thought leaders on the beautiful shores of Lake Chapala, Jalisco, Mexico. With keynote speakers, Reverend Dr. Sonny Cantrell Smith, Reverend Jeffrey Ryan, and Reverend Dr. Kathy Ann Lewis. Join us August 6th through the 10th, Lake Chapala, Mexico. Learn more at conventionoftheamericas.com and register today. Your light is my light.
And we're back with more of New Thought today here on the New Thought Media Network. Thanks for being with us, folks. Our special guest today, Ellen Suazo, religious science practitioner and all around amazing, extraordinary woman. I know how much good you are doing in the world, dear one. And so it's a pleasure to have you with us here today. And right before the break, right on that break there, folks, we're looking at an ad for the Convention of the Americas, and that's one of the things we're really here to talk about today and help everybody understand a little bit more about why this is so special, why this conference is so important, why in many ways, if this is the only thing you can do this summer, come be a part of this. I was there last year and it is so amazing. It is intimate. It is the language. There is no language barrier. There is a language of oneness, and if you don't happen to speak the language that's being spoken, there's a little voice in your ear that does all the translation for you. It's really kind of cool. So, Ellen, tell us a little bit about. You've been going. I believe you've been going for quite a number of years. Tell us a little bit about the history of the convention, how you got involved, how you got started. And then in a little bit, we'll talk kind of about what you're doing there, because you have an integral public role at the convention this year. But tell us a little bit about what came before what we're going to experience this year.
Sure. The Convention of the Americas has been around for over 10 years now, because it started in 2014, the first one, if I'm not mistaken. I came to the second year. On 2015 was the first time I came to the Convention of the Americas. And while I was there, I felt like I was walking in clouds. So much love. Just the commodity of being with others, connecting with others in a deeper level. That I didn't know anyone really much there. I have met Reverend Rebecca Piña, who's the founder, and Alexander, what's her last name? I forgot Reverend Alex's last name, but those were the only people that I knew there. And for me, coming to that first one changed everything. It solidified what I have felt many years before. Like since 2008, that's when I got the revelation that I'm here to serve our community, our Latin community. And for me, that was a solidification of this is what you're supposed to do. This is what I want you to do. And since then, I go back every year. I have not stopped going to the Convention of the Americas. I actually did not go in 2017 because that was the year that I became a practitioner. So it was too much going on for me on that year. But 2018, 2019, In 2020, because of the pandemic, we didn't have it. But when we have during the pandemic, we had the virtual retreats. I was there, and last year I was there, and this year I'm going there too. For me, it's not I don't have to think about it. For me, it's done. It's a done deal. A lot of times, believe you me, a lot of times at the beginning of this journey, I was wondering, especially the first time, I was thinking, like, how the heck am I say that I'm gonna go to this convention when I'm not working, where I'm gonna get the money, and all these questions started popping into my head. And I was just like, but I just felt it in my soul. I'm going, and I said it, and I went. So to me, it's just a matter of you just have to speak it, and divine love, God makes a way for things to fall into place. That's what has been happening for me, and I am just in awe. Like, wow, I can never. A lot of times I can never plan things the way divine love orchestrates it for me. And I just love the way it does it. So I definitely, if you're thinking or if you're ever on the edge saying, I wonder if that's a good thing for me, is for Latino America, like Reverend Rob Brz said, is multilingual. And the best thing of it is that there's one language that we all speak, the language of love, the language of hugging, and if you don't like hugging, you will feel the love. You will definitely feel the love. There hasn't been one person that I invite to this convention that has gone and has told me, oh, you just wasted my time. No one.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine anybody walking away from what I experienced last year and thinking it was a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
Just can't happen. and we've been twisting Elzia's arms. He's actually made a commitment to join us next year.
Yes.
So he's however, you're going to be at Celebrating Our Soul, and
I will be there.
The three of us are going to be at Celebrating Our Soul, which is a Unity Village in the beginning of August. And then Ellen, you and whoever you're traveling with, and my wife and I will all be bailing from Kansas City down to Guadalajara, and then a quick car ride down into Jalisco for this. I'm really excited to share this with you again. It was transformative last year. And again, as I was saying earlier, I think a big part of that is the fact that there is this language of oneness, and
yes,
for me, I've been a terrible student of Spanish since high school. Terrible student of Spanish since high school, and had so many opportunities to learn the language, and hearing the language spoken into my ear is so powerful. So when the English speakers are on stage, I leave my earpiece in so that I'm hearing English in one ear and Spanish in the other ear. And then throughout the week, when I don't have an earpiece in, I don't understand everything, but I can understand enough.
Yeah.
And the language of love, the language of oneness, the language of connection really binds everybody at this event. It is transformative, if I'll say it again.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And I think that is also what I...
No, go ahead.
I was saying that what also I really appreciated a lot of this convention is that a lot of our leaders from home office come into these conventions, and you get to sit next to them and have conversations that I might not have had if I go to someplace else. And so to me, that has no price, because now I'm speaking with the leaders from home office, reverends or ministers from so many other centers here in the United States and around Latin America. That to me, that has so much value to be able to connect in a deeper level and have some conversations that I'm just like, wow, this is amazing. Only here.
Only here, exactly. And every time every time, every interview where this comes up, I kind of hint to everybody and tease everybody that I've been in a lot of conferences over the years. I've had a lot of opportunities to connect with people over the years, but I don't know that I can say I've ever seen Reverend Dr. Kathy Ann Lewis doing karaoke other than at this conference, other than at the Convention of the Americas. So I'm not making any promises, folks. If you decide to come on down for the convention, I'm not making any promises, but it is the only place in the world I have ever seen Dr. Kathy Ann sing karaoke. So, and I'm not going to tell anybody how to find that video, but maybe for $5 if you want to watch that video, send me a DM and I'll let you see that video. But my point is that it is a week that is a lot of fun. It's not. There's study, there's workshops, there's speakers, there's all that, but there's room for fun and there's room for playfulness and of course nothing would be complete without a big banquet. So to me, and I'd love to hear your perspective a little bit as well. Share with us a little bit more of the social side of what happens and some of the fun things that happen around the edges of the convention. You have a lot. I've only been there once. You've been there a lot of years now.
Oh, yeah. What I like about it, like you say, it's not just learning, right? And not just, it's not just about workshops and keynote speaking. We have so much space. We get a lot of space to go on trips. They have about 3 outings that you can do to different places. We also have one that my heart is in it a lot. It's called Love in Action. It's an orphanage of girls. And I have for the last 3 years, for the last 2 years, and since 2019, I don't know how I became the one who led that group, but it's very just put it in my hand and I ran with it. And but it's really I had the opportunity to really commune with this community of orphaned children, and it touched my heart how much we can give and how much difference we make just because we are there during that week. And so that's another thing. Then we have within the convention, we also have the disco night where we dance and we have so much fun during that night. It's a lot of fun. We all dancing. Those of you that don't like to dance, they dance there because we all having a lot of fun. We are just being goofy and just allowing ourselves to be free and to just have fun. And we also have what else? We also have the gala night where we all dress up, all beautiful. You know, it's for us women. We love to dress up and look so pretty, and it's so nice because now it's time to see the band. The music is amazing. We have live music, which is beautiful, and I just love everything about it. You know, I can, when I think about something that I don't like, I can't find it really, you know.
Yeah.
I just love this place. I just love
And
this convention.
one of the good things that excites me and I look forward to next year is that it's a full spectrum, right? There's work being done, there's learning being done, there's practice being done, and then there's having fun and celebration that's being done. And it takes all of those things to really meld together, to really, I believe, to begin to feel the fullness of spirit and love and God and all the different names that energy comes under. Is when you're able to have different parts of the body, of the mind, of the spirit activated to see how they work together.
Yes. Oh, you put it so well, and you haven't been there. So
No.
when you come next year, forget it.
And we could say all of that, and we could say all of that about the food as well, folks, because that's it. To me, there's always something special when everybody is sharing meals, and And that happens throughout the week. Meals are shared out on this beautiful patio. The staff of the hotel is just fabulous in their helpfulness to understand what your choices really are and what you're about to eat sometimes, and they create everything with such love and attention that all of the meal opportunities become part of the sacred practice. They become part of the integral to the experience of it itself. So so there's plenty of time to register, folks. All you got to do is
It is.
head over. I was gonna say you got to head to.
I just want to add, Reverend. I just want to add, Reverend Robert, that the food, you know, a lot of us love food, and the food is delicious. And you know, I'm vegan. I have a vegan diet, but I just like you said, they make sure that we all enjoy the food, no matter what your diet is. And if you have something special that you want, the waitress and the whole kitchen, they, oh my God, they're so attentive. And if you let them know you see something that is not there, or that you have different needs than everyone else, you can actually speak to them, and they will make sure that you eat. They will make sure that everything is good for you. And to me, that's something that has no price, you know. And for the price that we pay to go to have all that stuff, is nothing compared to what we get.
Yeah. You know, I remember when I first found this philosophy, it never struck me that we didn't have a strong presence in Latin America. And the truth is, to my knowledge, we didn't. And that presence has really grown over the last 20 plus years to a much stronger, not just presence, but practice of the New Thought philosophy throughout Latin America. I know that Dr. Rebecca is now retired, or yeah, she might say that, but and I remember working with her many years ago in the online education as she was getting this started, and other things were starting to blossom. And now here we are, and you're part of the demonstration of that. And you're therefore part of the leadership of the next wave that happens. And so, again, rather than speculate, I'd love for you to speculate. Rather than hear what I think, I'd like to hear what you think. What do you see as the future for New Thought, specifically in Latin American countries?
You know, I get goosebumps with that question that you just asked me. I'm so touched by that question you asked, because I see a lot of awakening. The consciousness of our community is vibrating so high. And as we continue to vibrate high, I know without a doubt that more of us are going to continue to spread our wings. We have so many practitioners, so many new practitioners, new directores, leaders, we call them director leaders, because in Latin America, we're not, we don't want to go against what's already there, but we want to support what is already there. So we have teaching chapters, which is better because we are here to expand on what their foundation was. We're not here to go against or against any religion, but we're here to expand in what they have already learned about religion, but deepen that connection with divine love. And the more practitioners and the more directors of leaders we get in our community, the more we expanding in places that we can never thought about. So I'm really excited about the future of New Thought in Latin America. I see a lot of growth. I see, because Latin America, not for nothing, I respect every culture and every community, very dedicated, very very dedicated to their faith and to the teachings, practicing. There's so many ministries in Latin America that is just it makes my heart sings. It makes me feel so grateful to be part of it. You know, it takes me to a place of um, sometimes I don't even know what words to use, but the transformation that is happening in our communities is great. It's amazing. And so I'm just happy to be part of it. I'm just happy to say, yeah, God, thank you. Thank you for telling me that this is what I was supposed to do. Thank you for guiding me. Thank you for opening the doors for me. Thank you for the opportunities, because a lot of the opportunities at one point, I started by I became the Region 13, which is Latin America, the representative, practitioners representative for Region 13. And I did not know. I did not know what I know today, what I have been exposed to. I just continue to say yes. And the more yes I say, the more God shows me. There's so much more that if I tell you exactly if I can imagine, no, I cannot imagine. I cannot.
Beautiful.
That is so opening for me, because I think as we begin to get this teaching in different cultures, the flavor, if you will begin to, you'll have different flavors of how this is done in a Latin American country or an African country or a Canadian country or a European country. And it will give us the opportunity to see how vast this teaching is and how it could find its way into any situation, any culture, and help uplift the people and create environments where people can experience love.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, we have a practitioner. It just came to me to say this. We have a practitioner in Cuba, and hope I am knowing and I'm speaking to it that she will be with us this in Chapala. Her name is Betty Cespedes, and she's doing an amazing work in Cuba. Okay, she has about 3 or 4 groups in different towns, in different counties, and she goes like every quarter to visit these counties, and she does all the teachings, the ways that she does it. She records the teachings and then she sends them. It's just amazing the work that she's doing, you know. And like I tell her, you inspire me so much that I said to myself, I have all this to my, you know, I have so much that I can use, and I cannot complain. You know, I can't complain. I can't say, oh, this can't be done or that's not gonna work. No, this works. No matter what, this works. That's what I know, because it's not our work, it's divine love's work. And divine love, God, whatever you want to call it, makes its way. And we just have to, and my job, I'm going to speak for myself, my job is to say yes. That's it.
We've heard that somewhere before, I think.
Yes.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, Ellen, you are doing a talk, I believe, this at the convention this year. And are you doing a workshop as well, or just the talk?
No, I'm just going to do the talk.
Okay.
Yes, that will be on Friday at 4 o'clock, I believe.
Beautiful. Can you give us a little hint or a little sneak peek or a little clue what it is you might be talking about?
I am going to be speaking about how can we bring these teachings back to our communities, especially to all those that will be there. What can we do? What is Minds to do? That's what it is. What is Minds to do after the convention? Because I think the convention is all good, but it's just to prompt us. There's so much. There's so much for us to say yes to, and as we open ourselves to it, what I know is that God, it shows us the way. It shows us the way, and we just have to stay open. That's all. We just have to stay open, and the more open we stay, the more the opportunities will be shown to us. We continue to do our practice, and there's so much more that it can be given to us, and the gift that we are to the world. We are the gift. We are the light.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we are. All right. Folks, we need to say a quick thank you to some of our organizational sponsors and individual donors, as well as let you know a little bit more about what we're doing around here on the New Thought Media Network. But we've got more coming, including our final thoughts for the day. So please stay with us. Come right back. We're going to be right back after these messages. Stay tuned. Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center, Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all of our organizational sponsors and individual donors. It's folks like you that help us to share this message out across the planet. And we are having a great time here on New Thought today, sharing the message of a bilingual leadership retreat, which is, I think, a great way to say it. And it's open to everybody. So whether you want to be a leader or are a leader or just want to hang out with, have a good time with a whole bunch of really cool and groovy people, I think this is one of those places to be. Now you can learn more about all of this, folks, over on their Facebook page, facebook.com, Conventions of the Americas. That's where you'll get the most up-to-date information on how to register and send you down the information lane on how to get more and how to be a part of all that we're doing. And Ellen, we want to first say, number one, thank you so much for being with us here today. You've brought forward some amazing reminders of how this philosophy works and how we can use this philosophy to create better in our lives. And I'm wondering if there's anything that we didn't cover or anything that we forgot to ask you.
I think you cover everything. All I can say to those of you that are watching is we still have time to be part of our Convention of Las Americas in August 6th to the 10th. So come, I would love to meet you there. And like I always tell everyone that I invite, you will not regret it. And you will be so grateful, so happy that you made it. That's what I can say to you.
Beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. All right, which brings us to our final thoughts. Wrap up the whole conversation in a sentence or two. Let's go to Reverend Elzia to get us started. Final thoughts for today.
Yeah, the final thoughts is, culturally speaking, we all are seeking for the same thing, and to have a conference in Latin America that is, bilingual and bicultural, we begin to see that there is only one, and that is the key to bringing happiness to all of our lives, I believe.
Yes. Now, I've slipped almost 3 times and almost called you Reverend Ellen at least 3 times today. So we're going to just kind of let that sit there as a little planted seed and ask you, Ellen, what would you say are your final thoughts to wrap this up today?
Remember that when we open ourselves to the yes, divine love fills in the yes. That's what comes to me to say.
Beautiful. Thank you. I keep getting this little voice that says, okay, it's okay to learn Spanish.
Yeah.
It's okay to go learn Spanish. So if I take your advice and just say yes to that.
Open yourself to learn Spanish, because remember, there's only one spirit. So spirit knows all languages. And when you open yourself to learning Spanish, it will flow through you.
There we go. Beautiful. Thank you. Ellen, thank you so much for being here. Again, folks, check out facebook.com/Convention of the Americas. This is New Thought Today. Rev Brz and I are here every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. You can plan to check us out or find our archives if you head over to our YouTube station, New Thought Media Network, where there's a playlist in there for all of our past episodes, also available on our website, ntmedia.org. Until next time, we want to wish you peace and richest blessings. Bye now.